Welcome to the Forsyth Magazines podcast. I'm your host, Brooke Culler, bringing you the stories of the people shaping our community. From business owners to local leaders, we'll explore their journeys, passions, and lessons learned. Let's dive in. Hey guys, we are back with another podcast episode, and today I have Kenyon, the owner of Details Matter. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you, Brooke?
I'm good. We're glad to have you on. Thanks for coming all the way from Lake Norman.
Yeah, what's left of it.
Yeah, I know. Let's just dive right into that. It's almost Memorial Day weekend, and the water levels are insanely low, like historically low. Is that right?
Yeah, we've been here since 2006, and 2007 was bad. It was really, really low, and unscientifically, just by my eyeball, we've surpassed that.
Yeah.
I did check this morning, and I think it was 94 feet, which is about 6 feet below, which doesn't sound like a lot, but
no, it does.
When you drive by and look and you see the water line, that's low.
Yeah. Well, and people are like hesitating to get their boats out because some people literally can't. I was there last weekend at my parents' house, and we were walking and literally saw a boat just on the, by the dock where it always is, and it was on the ground.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of beached boats. There's a lot of boats where the lifts, where they go and they touch the bottom, and there may be enough water, but because of the lift, they can't get their boats off. There's a lot of boats like that.
Okay, so you might not know the answer to this, and probably the $1 million question, but why can't Duke Energy just let out water?
Well, I don't know the actual answer, but there's no water to let. I mean,
like if it's from the dam, it's just
then it's going to come from upstream. So we need water, to fill the whole.
Oh my gosh!
The basin, the Catawba River Basin.
Yeah.
I think here in Forsyth County, it's the PD River, if I'm not
mistaken. We're definitely in a drought too, but we don't have a lake to show it as bad.
Well, a lot of similar issues, I'm sure.
Yeah.
With your people that enjoy boating.
Yeah, and it's like they're supposed to get some rain this weekend. Fingers crossed. But I mean, even a little bit of rain is not going to really put much of a dent into it.
I think there's still going to be a lot of sad people. Hopefully not as many for 4th of July, but I know a lot of my customers who we've put off details because they're not, they just can't get out on the lake. So they've decided to put them off. We're hopeful.
Yeah. Well, speaking of detailing, I have to give you kudos. So Kenyon detailed my parents' pontoon boat yesterday, right?
Yesterday.
And my dad is a tough cookie, man. That dude's hard to impress, and he was very impressed with your job.
Yes. Yeah, he came out and checked on me a few times. And I could tell. He used to own a detail company.
Very particular. Yeah, he owned a body shop, and they, of course, detailed their cars before they went back to the customers. And some of our biggest arguments in my childhood were me not keeping my car clean enough for his standards. So that's like the highest compliment, that you did a great job on their boat.
Well, he didn't tell me, so I appreciate.
Well, he told Mom, and Mom told me. So I was like, perfect. I'm talking to Kenyon today. So yeah. So Kenyon, what got you into the boat detailing business?
Okay, well, I have lived on the water, been on the water my entire life. So boats have just been a staple for my entire family. All the way through college, I would work either car washes, boat yards. So again, if I was in the Navy, so again, boats just kind of run in my blood.
Yeah.
We have been in Lake Norman and boated Lake Norman since 2006, since we moved here from the West Coast. And we just love the area. I worked in corporate marketing and media.
Okay.
So this environment's kind of familiar to me.
Yeah.
A few years ago, I don't know if I was done with corporate or corporate was done with me, but a lot of companies were experiencing a lot of downsizing, and I wasn't one of the ones being downsized, but my team was just getting smaller and smaller, and so I didn't like that, and I thought there was a better way, and so I didn't know what that was, but I left and just kind of took a leap of faith, and I was detailing my boat, and I've always detailed neighbors and friends and things like that. Kind of a side hustle. I think everybody should have a side hustle.
Yeah.
That was kind of a side hustle. And somebody put me on Nextdoor, and next thing you know, now I'm sought after. So it's nice. So
that's amazing. But I feel like boat detailing, I mean, that's a very labor intensive job, especially out in the heat.
Yes.
Yeah. What are some tips and tricks for how do you stay cool out in the heat when you're doing all that work?
Staying cool. It's nice when you work with water.
Yeah.
so
Now the water is actually cool. What there is left of it.
Right. So that's nice. But staying out in the sun, I mean, that's a real deal.
Yeah.
I'm definitely more fatigued when I'm out in the sun all day as opposed to when I'm working underneath a covered dock or like your parents' driveway underneath the carport, which is very nice.
Yeah.
But again, I'm in my 50s. So, when I was in my 20s, I could just rub some dirt on it and be fine. Now I have to make sure, I'm running 25 miles a week. I'm, in the gym 3 times a week.
Yeah.
I'm stretching every day because if I don't, 55-year-olds aren't built the same as 25 and 30-year-olds.
Amen, brother.
That's right. So,
that's right. Well, yeah, that kind of brings me to my next point, too. I know you have a very impressive fitness journey that you started a few years ago. Mm-hmm. So I want to talk about that for a minute. What got you motivated to start that journey?
Sure. Well, I was like a lot of people living the corporate life, living in offices, travel when I traveled, eating healthy. When your body's in your 40s and 50s, your metabolism hits different. So I was close to 300 pounds. So I was not in a good way. And
yeah.
Yeah, there were some scares.
Yeah, sure. That's all right. We know it's a meaningful story if it's making you emotional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, I'm a grandpa. I'm a dad. Mm-hmm. I want to be around. That wasn't sure. That wasn't secure for a long time. And, I just made a choice to, diet, exercise, do it right, and had to lose the weight. Had to lose the weight and had to do it right and had to be healthy. And so I did. It was a long play.
Yeah,
and,
sure.
It was a lifestyle change, and that kind of just catalysted everything. I mean, I was comfortable in corporate. I don't think anybody's really ever happy.
Yeah,
nobody's ever happy in corporate.
I love going to my 8 to 5 office every day.
I love sitting in my office. I love the cubicles.
Yeah,
that's.
I love the what is your bottom line, not as what can we help people with.
Yeah. So I got slowly sick of that as I started learning what really mattered. Office didn't matter, family mattered. So how can I be around my family for more? Well, I need to take care of myself.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people that don't. So it's like kind of low hanging fruit. So I think helping other people is also kind of a calling of mine too. In that,
I love that.
So.
I love that.
So my social media, it's running like a Kenyon, spelled my name. So, I don't run like a Kenyan from Africa by any means, but I run like a Kenyan like me.
But you did say, I heard you say you run 25 miles a week.
Yeah, that's kind of my goal.
That's impressive.
Yeah, that's kind of my goal. It's hard in the detail season because
no doubt.
This year, March till now, I mean, it's been every day.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, because I'm sure your busy season does kick off in March.
Usually later March. This year, it got warm early.
Yeah.
It got warm really early. And
the second it gets like 80 degrees, people are like, okay, time to get the boat in the water.
Yeah. And we actually had some warm February days.
Yeah.
And people were calling about their boats when there was still, like where we live on the lake, the cove was still frozen.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Because it was like a few days in there where it was like in the 60s, but the water was still frozen.
Yeah. So. Oh my gosh. So what are some things that you see when you're detailing boats that like you would want to tell boat owners like, okay, this is something that's really important that you need to try to make sure you do with your boat as far as like maintaining it and keeping it in tip-top shape? Obviously calling you, but...
Well, have it, clean it.
Yeah.
That's the main thing. Make sure, a boat needs to to have those nutrients and chemicals that a good wash, a good soap, make sure you know what chemicals are being used. I use a specific product, Stark, that is well known in the industry, and they're just top quality. They're more expensive, but for me, the boats deserve it. I deserve it because they're easier to use, and you don't have to do it twice. You don't have to redo things.
Oh gosh, yeah, worth the extra money for that. Then.
Worth the extra money for it, for sure.
Yeah.
And then do it regularly. If you're gonna do it yourself, do it yourself. That's great. Go to my blog.
Stick with it.
Yeah, stick with it. I have blogs that basically tell people how to do my job if they don't want to do it, because some people have the time. I know when I worked in corporate, I didn't have the time.
Yeah.
So
the combination of the time and the desire. I will always take my car to the car wash. Your girl is not washing her own car.
Right.
Much to my dad's dismay. But some people, that's just not their thing. I just am going to use my energy on other things, and I would much rather support local and have somebody like you come out and do it.
And it's about time.
Yeah.
That's what it is too. And, if people have time and enjoy cleaning their boats, that's great. I didn't have time to clean my boat, but I enjoyed it. Mm-hmm. So, I guess that was the right leap for me. It was why not do things that I enjoy?
Yeah. So what does the future of Details Matter look like? Are you currently a one-man show? Do you have any plans to expand or grow your team?
Well, I have a 19-year-old son that has expressed interest and talent.
Okay.
So
keeping it in the family.
Keeping it in the family. So I would love to expand at some point.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, I just love what I'm doing.
Yeah.
There's a lot of boats on the lake that need work, whether it's because their boats are oxidized and they can't find people to do it because it's not an easy. There are good detailers out there besides myself. There's also a lot of people who don't have the skill to remove oxidation or do gel coat correction at a professional level. So it's important for all the consumers to do their research and to read the reviews.
Yeah.
And find out what chemicals they're going to use, and find out what compounds and polishes they're going to use, and do your own research. I mean, there's all the information's out there.
Yeah. Some people are better than others at taking that time to research things.
Yep.
So speaking of research and internet things, I know you mentioned you have a blog.
Yes.
And I have read some of your blogs. Some of them are quite hilarious. So what got you started in writing blogs, and kind of how did that liaison between your detailing business and the blog? I want to talk about that.
Well, writing has always been a creative outlet for me. It's an itch that always needs to be scratched. So when I worked in corporate marketing, again, I was always really tight, whether I was on the creative team or whether I was managing, portions of the creative team. I was always really close with the copywriters and editors because that was a passion of mine.
Yeah.
And so when we launched the business, I wanted, and I still want the blog to be helpful, not salesy. I think I put a couple shameless plugs in there, but I think I call them out. So I'm like, all right, if you've read it this far, here I am. Here's who I am.
We're the same. We're the exact same way with the magazine. Like, we don't want articles in the magazine to be like, buy from this person. Nope. Like, that's just boring. And it kind of gives me the ick a little bit. Like, I like for it to be, and the same with the podcast. Like, I want to get to know the face behind the business and why you're passionate about what you do. Like, why you started, the challenges you've experienced, and, all the things. That's what people really want to know.
Right.
And why they would want to do business with you, So speaking of that, what are the top challenge that comes to mind that you've experienced as being a small business owner?
Managing my own expectations, to be honest with you, and understanding my own limitations.
Yeah.
I want to say yes so bad, so many, so often, that, often I have to say, no, I'm sorry. I can't book you in before Memorial Day. That's been the most recent one.
Yeah.
And
it's hard to like let people down or whatever. Yeah.
I have to go to Winston-Salem and do a podcast. Sorry.
Yeah. I got to promote my business. Yeah. Good for you. It's a tricky thing to navigate those types of boundaries because you want to do it all and you want to, but you have to kind of determine what's the top priority and what's maybe not a priority right now.
Absolutely. So. I mean, like my son's graduating high school this weekend,
Memorial Day weekend, really?
I know. Yeah,
That's crazy.
Yeah, Lake Norman High School. I'm not sure why they did that, but they did.
They knew about the water levels and the rain, so they were like, "Hey, let's just have graduation this weekend."
That's right. So yeah.
Well, congratulations!
No rain.
Congratulations to your son.
Thank you.
That's very exciting.
Yeah.
And
He's
you
been
said
in the magazine.
You said you have grandkids too?
Yes.
Okay.
2 and 1 on the way. They're in Las Vegas.
Oh my goodness.
So we go see them this fall. So
awesome. So you came from the West Coast 20 years ago. What brought you over here?
Work.
Okay.
Work. My wife is an accountant and I was in marketing.
What kept you over here?
Well, our kids are born here, so our kids are native North Carolinians.
Okay.
So we were not fans of the West Coast. We knew we were called to be elsewhere, basically. Yeah. And North Carolina was so easy to plant roots. And, lake life is so much better here than the West Coast. So
great seasons.
Great seasons.
Great cost of living.
Yep.
All the things.
Yep. Close to, back in the time, if you have to fly to New York or if you have to fly to DC or anywhere, it's not as bad as the West Coast. West Coast business trips tend to be week killers as opposed to couple day killers.
Yeah. So I have a couple questions for you about advice that you might give our listeners. The first piece of advice I want to hear is related to your fitness and wellness journey. What would you tell somebody who's just getting started or who is intimidated to even get started with how to make that first step and how to stick with it?
Start walking.
Yeah.
Get a fitness watch, whether it's a Fitbit or, that track your, I always say if your body burns more calories than it earns, it has no choice to lose weight.
That's true.
So, find out, what a good calorie intake for you is. And, me, I went Rambo mode. So I probably, if I had to do it again, I would probably not lose it so fast. I lost probably 100 pounds in 7 months.
Oh my gosh.
So,
jeez.
But again, I was walking, and then as soon as I got to a safe weight where I could run, I just started running, and kind of like Forrest Gump, I guess.
I love it. I love it.
I just wanted to go running.
Yep. That's a good impression. So, next piece of advice I want to hear is what advice would you give to somebody who is considering starting their own small business or taking that leap of leaving corporate and doing their own thing?
Make sure you love doing it.
Yeah.
If you don't love doing it, don't, pick something else.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because it'll fizzle out quick if it's something you don't like.
Yep, absolutely. Because it's hard work.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to say, Brooke, that part of this podcast, I feel seen.
I didn't plan this, I promise.
We'll talk about that off the air.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Kenyon, it's so fun to chat with you, and I couldn't wait to tell you in person how pleased my dad was with your boat detailing job.
Well, you guys, that's your boat that's next to it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're next.
That one's next.
Yes.
Yeah. Your mom did want that one first, but I told her, I was like, okay, that one's a full day. I can get your pontoon done by this. And I was so awesome because I was done with it right on the time.
Oh my gosh. I love it. Yeah. So. Well, my brother takes after my dad and is also very particular. And I'm like, I don't care. I want somebody else to help with it. Yeah. Cleaning a boat is not my favorite.
Well,
being on the boat is my
really
favorite.
Because I looked at it.
They are particular.
Yeah,
they take
so
care.
So it doesn't need any correction or anything like that.
Oh, good. All the hard work.
The polish, I'm going to give it a good polish, and so it's going to shine really.
Because we've had it we got it in 2018, so this is our 8th summer with it.
Yeah, you guys are going to like it.
Yeah.
I think I booked it for the Friday of the week of the 2nd.
Okay. Perfect. So. Hopefully the water levels will be good to go by then.
Mm-hmm. That's one of the reasons.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, because that one. Well, I heard they closed Ramsey the boat launch at Ramsey yesterday.
Oh, no.
Because of the water level. So the public launches are starting to close. It's getting really bad. My neighbor can't get his boat off the lift. We can get our tri-tune out of the cove.
Yeah.
But we may have to push it a
Yeah.
little bit because there's a shallow spot when you get out of our cove.
Well, and like pontoons are one thing because it's not as like our kind of boat. That's not good, like a wakeboard boat. But we went on a group of friends and I went on the Aqua Ventures like tiki boat thing this past weekend, and such a blast. But the water, I guess, with that kind of boat too, the water levels weren't a huge deal. But we went and anchored out, and it was a ball. Love lake season, my favorite time of year.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, Kenyon, how can we find your blog, and how can we reach out if we want to get a quote for getting something detailed?
Sure. Yeah. Send me email, kenyon@detailsmatternc.com.
Okay.
Or detailsmatternc.com is my website. Blog's pretty prominent there. I'm a little behind on them. But
as one does.
Yeah, but my next one's going to be more about the lake levels.
Okay.
Which is why I did a lot of the research too, but I didn't want to publish it before coming and talking to you guys.
Awesome. Well, Kenyon, thanks for coming and driving from Lake Norman. We appreciate it.
All right. Well, thank you.
Yeah. And as always, you can find us at forsythmags.com. You can find us on social media at Forsyth Mags, and you can also find our Lake Norman publication on social media at LKN Magazine and online at lkn-magazine.com. And that is a wrap for today. Thanks, y'all. The views and opinions stated on this podcast are solely those of the contributors and not necessarily those of our distributors or hosting companies. This podcast is copyrighted and cannot be reproduced without expressed written consent of Forsyth Magazines Incorporated. Ooh, that's a mouthful.